I'm just gonna just say if you're in my shoes, your excitement is through the roof. It's my last ever college at bat. I just hit a grand slam in my last ever college at bat to kind of put the nail in the coffin to win the national championship.
Welcome to the Next Conversation podcast. Your host, Preston Jackson, with another fantastic guest. And if you're from Tampa, you'll know the name. That Russo last name is fantastic around here. This Russo, all conference and all state in high school, all conference, all state selection in high school. This year, 2025, he is ABCA Rawlings Gold Glove winner, South Region All Defensive First Baseman, NCAA D2 Championship Series All Tournament Team, and the Sunshine State Conference All Defensive Team, and a D2 National Champion for your University of Tampa Spartans. Cole Russo, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Congratulations on the big win. That is a 10th for the University of Tampa baseball team. You've been a champion on like every level now. It's kind of in the blood. Was this more special than any of the others? Did this feel different or what?
This was different. This was absolutely fair. Like it still hasn't, it's hit me, but it hasn't really, got to the point where like, wow, like I'm a national champion. Like, when you're laying down on your pillow at night, you dream of this. You dream of, playing at the biggest stage of them all. And, you play in front of your friends and your family. And, I got to experience that here at Tampa. And it was probably, one of the it was probably the greatest thing to, that's ever happened to me in my life, coming to Tampa and deciding to play here and, reaching the mountaintop and finishing on top was, one of the greatest things in the world.
And if a lot of people don't know about the University of Tampa baseball team, they've been good for a long time. Like I said, you were part of the 10th national championship for D2 baseball program. They would beat a lot of D1 teams. They're just good like that all the time. But let's back up a little bit. Coming out of high school, you were the 160th best prospect in the nation, 7th best third baseman, according to Perfect Game. You committed to UCF and had a 9.5 perfect game grade. How did you set yourself up for success back in your high school days?
I think, coming out of Jesuit high school was definitely something that really, really propelled me from doing that. And of course, as you know, playing with, Hit Factory, my dad and uncle's organization was something that was really big coming out of high school, setting the standard in the spring and laying the groundwork with what we do at Jesuit, and then, taking what we've learned and going to the summer and just having, great summers year after year after year with a lot of great people, a lot of great coaches, pushing us to be the best. I think that really laid the foundation, to get recruited and to get signed. As you know, summer baseball is something that is huge in today's day and age, and being able to play with Hit Factory and being able to put, a great group of players out there day in and day out in front of all these scouts was something that helped me and propelled me along the way.
And you mentioned Jesuit. I was going to go there next. So I'm glad you kind of threw me that alley-oop. Miguel Menendez has really set the tone for that program and a storied national program in Jesuit. Give me your best Miguel Menendez story.
My best Miguel Menendez story, I would have to say,
Set it up for me.
I'm trying to think here. There was a couple times in the fall. A really good Miguel Menendez story was fall going into my junior year. Our team was loaded, nationally ranked coach. We're in the fall. We get done with our fall season. And as you know, times are tough. And we get there and he ends up cutting little Miguel. And it kind of showed us like this is real. Like that's his son. Miguel is one of my really good friends. And like that kind of showed us, that this is real. Like this, we're not playing games here. This isn't, daddy ball or nothing like that. Like Miguel was laying the foundation to have the best team in the country. And he sat us down and he kind of explained that to us. And he was like, hey, like, this is business. Like, I'm going to do what I have to do to win every single day. And then unfortunately COVID hit, but that was a really good, I gained a lot of respect for Coach Menendez.
Yeah.
To cut your own kid, that takes a lot. You got to go home to, his wife and deal with that. But that story really, kind of reminded me of how Miguel is as a person, and it kind of just like showed like, wow, like this is real. And
Yeah.
from that moment on, it was, I love Miguel. Miguel is, a best friend to me. He's, done everything for me, and I couldn't thank him enough for what he's done. And that was, a really good moment to really sit back and say, like, wow, like this guy is the best out there.
Man, that's pretty legit. You cut your own jit. You cut your own son. So. How well did you know little Miguel? Did you and little Miguel talk after he got cut? Like, what was that conversation?
Knew him very well. Same grad class, both graduated in 21, came
Okay.
in together, had classes our freshman, sophomore, junior year, was very tight with him. Got to play a little bit on the freshman team together, and all
Okay.
that kind of good stuff. So me and Miguel were very tight, and Miguel knew, he knew that he had to, step up and do his part. And I think after he got cut, Miguel really, put himself into another gear and really started to work to make that team a senior year, and he did. And of course, we fell up short to Jefferson that year, but Miguel was a big part of our team that year, and played a crucial role on and off the field. And I think that year really taught him something. So it was maybe a blessing in disguise. You never
Yeah.
know what it could have been, but me and Miguel are really good friends.
All right. I'm gonna give you some time to think on this one. Jesuit has always had really good pitching. All right. Really good pitching. I'm gonna give you three pitchers that you play with. I want you to put them in order. All right.
Okay.
Number one, Camden.
Okay.
What's Camden's last name?
Manasseh.
Manasseh. I always mess it up every time I say it. So Camden Manasseh, Jamie Arnold, Wes Mendez. All right. Put them in order.
Are we going so this is crucial. This is a question I got back for you. Are
All
we
right.
going high school, or are we going right now? Who would I take?
All right. Let's two-part question that. We're going starting in high school. You
Okay.
need a state championship game won. All right. We need a state championship starter. We need a state championship starter. In order, where would you place him?
In high school, I'm going
In high
Camden
school.
Manasseh. I'm going Camden Manasseh. Camden was one of the watching him pitch and compete on the mound was something that would like I've never seen it before. Me and Jamie played together a little bit my senior year. He was a big part of our team, but
Yep.
I played with Camden in 19 when we won it. I played with Camden in 20 when COVID hit, and then I
Yep.
also played with him in 18. So me
Okay.
and Camden, had 3 years together. So starting off, Camden Manasseh's definitely on the mound for sure.
All right. Who's two?
I'm gonna go with Jamie Arnold.
All right.
Sorry to I mean, Wes is, a competitor. Great year at Florida State
Absolutely.
this year. Jamie
Absolutely.
Arnold put up numbers. Me and Jamie are really close. We're in the same agency. And seeing Jamie develop as he was in high school, his Jamie was amazing his senior year, which was my freshman year of college. So I really didn't
Okay.
get to experience that. Jamie was also really good my junior year, but of course, like we talked about COVID. So
Yep.
it sucked. But Jamie, really took the next step when he got to his freshman year to blemish into the player he was. Jamie put on 20 pounds. He gained 4 or 5 miles an hour. He dropped his arm slot a little slower. And now Jamie's going to be a top 5 round pick, which I'm so excited for him. And Wes was an absolute baller in high school, played center field for us every
Yep.
day. And then when we
Yep.
needed him to close, Wes was our guy. You got the guy
Right.
going to Vanderbilt. He decommitted, ended up going to Ole Miss, and now he was a foundation in Florida State Super Regional this year, in the Corvallis Regional against Oregon State, which they came up short. But great year for Joey Vellini, great year for Wes Mendez, great year
Yep.
for Jamie Arnold. Shout out to those guys, those Jesuit products. It was a
All right.
tough
So
question, but
so now,
all
all right.
those.
So now, right now, as college prospects, MLB prospects, college players, what order you place them in?
Jamie's my one. Jamie would be my starter. I would go to Wes to the
Okay.
bridge for inning 6 and 7. 8 and 9 would be my closer with Manasseh just because of how his mentality was, how he was at Wake Forest. I mean, if you get those 3 guys, I don't know if you're losing that ball game.
Hey, man, that's fair. And I love the assessment. So at UCF, you had 53 starts, 27 RBIs, 4 home runs. Solid. Why leave the Knights in Orlando, head back home to Tampa, and play with D2 Tampa?
The biggest thing was to win. We won at UCF, but it wasn't the winning culture that I was a part of at Jesuit. You know, coming from
Mm,
Jesuit, I came from winning, and I'm talking
mm,
winning all the time. It was
right.
20, a high school season, you have 25 games with the regular season. You're winning 20 regular season games no matter what. Like that's the bare
Right.
minimum. And
Yep.
then, you go to a place that is in the American Conference. It's tough. You're battling with ECU. You're battling with Tulane. You're battling with Cincinnati. You're battling
Hmm.
with Houston. There's all these top competitors, and we won. I loved my time at UCF. I wouldn't trade it for the world. Like people ask me all the time, like, "Hey, you wish you went to Tampa out of high school?" No, I don't. I
Mm,
loved my time here. Yes, I want to go back 100%. But I liked to, to experience what it was all about. I loved
yeah, yeah, yeah.
going to do it. But I really wanted, to take a step back and realize, like, hey, like I want to win. What is it
Hmm.
gonna take for me to win? And I, sat down with my family and we got a tough decision, ended up getting in the portal. And Tampa was, the number one option. And I knew right away that coming off a national championship that I wanted to repeat that. And, I got my dream came true. They gave me a great opportunity to come play.
Yep.
And, the rest is history.
Take me to a bright summer day on UCF campus at that wonderful storied beach in the middle of campus. What does that look like?
It's crazy. It's wild. You not you I don't walk by it. I got a girlfriend and she's fantastic. But you gotta stay away. But a lot of the players, would go in and out. You never
Yep.
know. Got a lot of single guys on the team. They wanna
Yep.
they wanna get over there and show off their great bodies.
Absolutely. So it is a fantasy land over there, I take.
It's crazy. It
It's
is.
crazy.
It's you think you're in a simulation.
All right. So I was doing my research and I was going through your social media, and you're pretty active as you always have been. But I would say you're a pretty good dancer. One of your most popular social media posts. You're doing your thing on camera, all right? And I always went through the comments. I'm just laughing, looking at all the comments. What is the best? What is the best comment or DM that you've received after you posted your dance moves online?
One person DM'd me after I posted a video of me and my buddy Zach Austin. Shout out Zach Austin,
Okay.
about to be in his wedding in December, my groomsmen. Me and him were dancing in the locker room to La Mama de la Ma.
Okay.
We're dancing to a thing, and I got a DM from, I'm almost positive, one of the marketing people for America's Got Talent, and they said,
Wow.
"Hey, we love your dance move. You should come on the show," or something to the realm of that. It was a verified account, 100,000 followers, something like that. And I was like, there's no way. And then, I kept posting, and you would get a like here and a like
Yeah.
there, and it was, nothing ever came to it, but it was kind of cool. It was cool to see.
That's cool, man. The transformation happens. You head back to Tampa. You've always been 22. As long as I've known you, I watch you play. You always rock that 22. But you flip to the 33. You put a whole Kobe on us. All right. Was 22 not available in UT Red, or were you just trying to start fresh?
UT Red 22 is not available. That is
Okay.
Sam Melatello, our pitching coach. He wore 22 and his numbers retired at
Good
Tampa.
to know.
Yep. So shout out the Bull. His numbers retired 22. So then I go thinking, and I'm like, you know what? Let me start to think. My
Hmm.
dad's 31, Trips 31. I was looking at 31. Well, asked for 31. Well, that was Skylar Gonzalez, Mr.
Okay.
Pitcher of the Year, 18 and
Uh-huh.
0. So that number's unavailable. So then my next option is the great Paul Russo. What did Paul wear?
Oh,
Paul wore 33 when he played at the University of Tampa.
shout
And
out
then
to
I
Paul.
go, call Alexa. What's Alexa wearing at UT? Number 33. I said, this is perfect. This is what I want to wear. So I decided on 33 for the year, and when it was perfect. I didn't put up anywhere close to the numbers that my uncle put up, but
Yeah, yeah.
one thing I do have is a rock on my finger. So that's great.
I left something out, and I got to go back to. We got to go back to high school. All right, versus Jefferson in 2019, the regional semifinals. The Tigers were down 5-3 in the bottom of the seventh. Bottom of the seventh. Bases loaded with a 2-0 count. Jalen Vargas strikes out. BJ Graham was walked. Now the score is 5-4. Take me. What happens next?
Actually, this is crazy. 2019, so 6 years ago. Um,
Yeah, man.
they go mountain visit. They bring in the lefty, or maybe the lefty was already in. They
Okay.
take a mountain visit. Menendez doesn't coach the bases. Coach Knowles coaches first. Coach Knowles coaches third. Louis
Okay.
coaches first. Miguel
Okay.
is in the dugout. He comes to me on deck. I remember this vividly. He said, "You're made for the moment. Just go do it."
Mm,
I said,
mm,
"I got you, coach. Don't even worry about it."
mm.
I get up there. This is very controversial. If you ask a lot of Jefferson people, they're going to say I struck out. I take a 2-2 heater on the black, ball three. I saw it away, lefty, lefty. I was looking for the ball somewhere up and in, something that I can, get my hands extended and drive some in the gap. I wasn't looking for it. I take it. A lot of people will say I struck out. I think it was a ball, and I know it was a
Okay.
ball. Umpire
Okay.
calls it a ball. Take a deep breath. 3-2. I get the pitch I want, and I smash it. I remember Jalen was on second. Brad Key.
Yeah.
No, it was either Brad Key on second, Jalen on third, or flip flop.
Okay.
I hit it. It goes. It does its thing. Jalen scores. This picture behind me, right here, was me
Uh-huh.
celebrating. That's us in the article. And then 2019, we end up winning the state championship. So it was fantastic.
Now, listen, I know I missed that earlier, but I may have set this up. I may have set this up. Probably a stroke of genius. So this year, a 380 foot plus, a 380-yard grand slam in the bottom of the eighth of the D2 national title game. You're up for the moment again. You guys are up, I think, one, was it? Are you up one at the time?
5-4.
You're up one, bottom of the eighth. You step up. Obviously, you're probably thinking I just gotta put one in the gap. Let's go ahead and push these bases. Take me to the moment before you hit that 380-yard grand slam. What's going through your mind as you approach the bases, as you approach home plate?
Yeah, I started getting ready early, pretty early. Like I remember, Woodburn's up. Woodburn, I don't remember what Woodburn does, but then Villegas comes up. So then it goes Villegas, Edgardo Villegas, Jojo Irigoyen, our catcher, and then me. I think
Okay.
that game, maybe I'm in the sixth hole, maybe in the seventh hole, one of the two.
Okay.
So Eddie has a competitive walk. Battle,
Okay.
battle, battle, change up down, ball, battle, change up down, ends up walking. Well, what happens, a lot of people don't know this. He's taken off his elbow guard and he's looking at the pitcher. And this pitcher, this is their guy. Like they went to their closer. He's 91, 93 with a fastball, got a really good changeup, good slider. And Eddie's staring him down and he does not like it. He's about walking halfway, still staring at him, does not like it. So now I go to the on deck circle. I'm getting ready. First pitch, JoJo gets hit in the numbers
Mm.
from Eddie staring at him. So now JoJo is staring at him. So now it's getting really rowdy.
Oh,
What happened on the JoJo walk actually is a run scored. So now it's
okay.
6-4. So it's
Okay.
6-4. Now I come up with 2 outs. My brother was the only one that was in the second row. My dad was by himself, and my mom, stepdad, my little brother up top. So I look at Trip. I just give him a nod. I just say, let's go. I look back at him. I faced this closer on Friday night when we were winning 8-7. He throws me fastball up, strike one, change up down, strike two, gets me to a 0-2 count, hangs me a change up. I hit it for a single.
Mhm.
My thought process going into the at bat was I'm sitting change up the whole at bat. If you're going to
Mhm.
beat me, you're going to throw 93 by me and it's going to be the end of the game. Well, they go to a plate, they go to a mound visit. The catcher goes out. Catcher was a great guy. And the catcher after the game ended up telling me, like, yo, we were throwing you 10 changeups. Is that what it took? I
Mhm.
had the right game plan. I step into the box looking to hit a single, not looking to do anything other than to hit a single, put a good bat to the ball. I'm sitting on changeup. He hands me a changeup and the rest is history. And
Yeah.
it was it was the greatest moment of my life.
Oh man, it was a beauty too. I've seen you hit a few home runs in your days, and you know when it's gone. All right,
Yeah.
you always kind of walk off, kind of you see it, and you kind of relish in that moment. I'm searching, I'm doing my research, I'm looking at Twitter, and now I hit this post, and it's a bunch of comments. It's a bunch of comments. Me not necessarily being a baseball guy, I would define myself as a sports guy, not a baseball guy at all. But there's these unwritten rules about baseball that nobody knows what the hell they are, and you're supposed to follow them. Well, I started reading through the comments, and just a few of them about, I guess, referring to your celebration after you hit it. Not necessarily when you cross home plate, but after you hit it. And I'm looking at that just to review the film. And I think I remember this correctly. You smash it. It looks like you look at your dugout. You could correct me if I'm wrong. You look at your dugout. I think you may have pointed to somebody in your dugout.
Yep.
Your excitement starts to build a little bit. Um, you kind of do like a hand thing towards the ground. And then as you start your trot, you start to bang your chest like, yo, I did that, right? Just full emotion, excitement. Now I go to look at some of the tweets, some of the responses I see in the backlash towards your celebration. Disgraceful, disgraceful behavior. Hope he enjoys his life with his 6 kids, working as a mechanic, and a horrible wife. I'm a big fan of retaliation. These are just some of the comments I'm seeing towards you as you show exhilaration and excitement and emotion after hitting a freaking grand slam that kind of put the game away in the national championship. I'm sure you know what I'm referring to. What is your not response? What is your feeling reading some of this stuff? And let's just go there. What is your feeling reading some of this stuff?
Yeah, just block the noise.
Hmm.
My mom has always told me when I was younger, it's very lonely at the top.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Absolutely.
very, very, very lonely at the top. And a lot of people are just a dad behind a screen who's never played, or, some guy that just wants to get something for his followers, or just getting something out of it. I block the noise and I just do my thing. If I'm just gonna just say if you're in my shoes, your excitement is through the roof. It's my
Yeah.
last ever college at bat. I
Yeah.
just hit a grand slam in my last ever college at bat to kind of put the nail in the coffin to win the national championship. I'm playing with a lot of emotion after 2 days before that, having a foul ball, cutting my eyebrow in half, having to go get 6 stitches in my eyebrow, and playing with a swollen eye, playing with, a lot of medication just so I can see. There's a lot that's going on. I thought my tournament was over after I cut my eyebrow, had to get 6 stitches. I thought I was done. I end up coming back the next day playing, and I hit a home run in the D2 national championship, and I'm getting backlash for it. Well, guess what? It's lonely at the top.
It,
And,
it
you know,
was
that's okay. I ended up pointing at my brother. As you
okay.
saw the video, I ended up pointing at my brother. My brother's on top of the net, excited. My whole dugout. I did nothing towards the other dugout.
Right.
Didn't throw the bat, did nothing. I'm looking at my team because it's the excitement. We just going back to back. We're now the Kings of Cary, 10-time national champion, the third time back to back. It's my last ever season playing college baseball, and I have emotion. But
Yeah.
when Ronald Acuna, throws his bomb and covers his ears, or when people in the big leagues throw the bat 20 feet in the air, there's nothing wrong with it. But when a college kid does it, it's the end of the world. So,
Right.
I didn't really look into much of it. My mom always says, it's lonely at the top, and that's okay. So I didn't really retaliate. I put one comment and I put, winners win. This is Tampa baseball, 10-time national champions. There's a reason for everything. So, that was really about it.
Do you think that the old school baseball mindset needs to come to the newer generation? Like we have
I,
to,
I do. I do.
yeah,
Yeah, it's
talk,
it's it's a
yeah,
lot of when they played there was none of the accessories, there was none of
right.
the sliding mitts, but now the younger group is different. That's what everyone enjoys to, but it's also a good and a bad thing because you're going to have people like that guy on Instagram try to backlash you for celebrating, for doing nothing wrong, but for celebrating. I flip my bat, I pump my chest up. I don't see what's wrong with it. If you throw a 75-yard touchdown pass in the Super Bowl, are you just supposed to sit there and run? You're going to have emotion. That's everybody. So I think with that comes good and bad. It comes with a lot of old school people having a hard on for you. And there's going to be
Mhm.
the new school people that love it, that want the sliding mitt, like a Jazz Tism, that want all the necklaces, that want to, wear the different color accessories. I was watching the Mets Braves game yesterday. Ronald Acuna was wearing a blue arm sleeve, blue socks, wearing a blue, and I'm not talking navy, I'm talking Columbia, a blue accessories, a blue elbow guard, blue leg guard. But the Braves are red and royal, or sorry, red and navy. But no one's gonna tell Ronald Acuna anything. You know what I'm saying? So it's just a little bit of I think they need to realize we're in 2025 and then we're not in 1980 no more, where we go up with a helmet and a bat and no batting gloves. You gotta with years with technology, you gotta change, and that's just how it is in today's day and age.
Well, I'm one that thinks that hitting a baseball, the the physical act of hitting a baseball is the hardest thing in all the sports.
Couldn't
Okay,
agree.
not
Couldn't agree
necessarily
more.
the responsibility of the position of a pitcher or a batter himself, but the physical act of trying to hit a baseball, a moving object that can move as it's on your way to the mound, on your way to the plate, is the hardest thing to do. So when I see comments like act like you've done that, act like you've done it before, act like you've been there before, it's mind-boggling to me. All right, because I want you to go try and hit a grand slam in any kind of national championship. I want you to hit a grand slam in the youth league. You try that out. All right, as a full-grown adult, you try and hit a grand slam, and then you try and hit a D2 baseball and see where that leads you. In every other sport outside of baseball, celebrating is almost encouraged. Hear me on this. Hear me on this. You dunk a basketball, you can get away with a little celebration. All right, you can show some emotion. You throw a touchdown, pick six. You can get actually in the NFL as long as it doesn't go over line. You're allowed to do any kind of celebration that you want. All right, as long as it's not distasteful. Even in girls lacrosse, they stick check you. The girls slam the sticks down. They show a lot of emotion. They get excited. But in baseball, you've got to act like you've been there before. You're just supposed to trot around the bases after you just had a 4-run RBI. You're supposed to freaking just kind of walks around. It's it's crazy to me. Again, why is it that we are so slow in baseball to move into the new era? Why is that?
I think it's the people behind baseball and how it really started. It's such a dramatic difference on
Mhm,
what the players are doing now than what they did back then. I think
mhm,
that's the biggest even with the fundamentals of catching. Everyone in the big leagues now catches on a knee. So what do you
mm,
think kids are going to do? Catch on a knee. But
yeah,
the old school way is to catch on 2 feet. You can't block. You can't throw. So with technology, you have to change. So with
right,
that, the it's starting at such a young age now that you
right,
have to adapt. If you don't
right.
adapt, how are you going to be able to be on the same level as a kid who wants to be flashy, as a kid who wants to do all this? You can't tell this kid no just because you're stuck in your own way. And I think you have to adapt with the game of baseball.
Do you think the slow adaptation in baseball is playing a factor in the numbers dwindling of youth players participating in the sport?
I think so. I
Mm,
really do. I think, a lot of guys are gonna go, maybe to football or maybe to hockey. Hockey's a hot commodity right now with everything.
mm.
And I just think I really do think it is, yeah.
So with that being your last collegiate game, and what a way to go out. The way that you said that, when I thought about, like, shit, that's fucking dope. If I'm gonna go out, I'm going out like that.
That's right.
What's next for Cole Russo?
Yeah, I'm training every day, and just, staying ready for the draft. The draft is in July, mid to late July. So, I'm staying ready for the draft. Hopefully my name gets called. And if not, no worries. We're gonna work on free agency, see what happens with that, just to get an opportunity. That's all I've ever wanted in life was, an opportunity to go play. You dream of that. All I wanted at Tampa was an opportunity. I didn't ask for a starting job. I didn't ask for anything. I just wanted an opportunity. And, I ran with it and did what I did. So, just an opportunity to go play affiliate ball for any club, any team out there. I'd be grateful to go bust my butt and go do my thing. So, really focus on that, working hard, to do that. And then if that doesn't work out, we're gonna go try independent ball, try to get, in the Frontier League or go play in the Atlantic League. Same thing my cousin did. As you know, Paulie played for the Gateway Grizzlies, was there for a couple weeks, and then the Washington Nationals ended up signing him, which was really good. So, gonna focus on that, and then just see where life takes me. So, just staying baseball ready, hitting, doing a lot of the training, staying fresh on and off the field with everything that I'm doing. And then God willing, have an opportunity, come June 15th, go play for an affiliate team.
Is there anything that you would like to advertise coming up? Any partnership deals that you have that you want to shout out? Tell us where everybody to find you on socials. Is there anything you want to advertise?
Yeah, nothing really to advertise right now. I'm gonna be posting maybe like a little end of the year recap on my Instagram. That'll be at Cole Russo 22. I was actually thinking about it today. I wonder if I should change it to Cole Russo 33. I was thinking about it, trying to maybe think of a change. I don't know. My birthday's on July 22nd, so 22 is it's a very 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 important number to me. Wore it all the way up until, as you know, as this year. So maybe just wanna think about that. Maybe doing a little bit of a change. I don't know yet. We're gonna see. But as of right now, it's Cole Russo 22. Gonna maybe post a little recap of the year. So gonna have that up soon, and then we'll see what happens from there.
Could you go could you go 22.33 if you changed it?
I could. Yeah, I just got to see what's available because Instagram is such a huge platform that, a lot of people have a lot of different names. So I got to see, maybe what I can do. Maybe I do the 22 first and 33 after or something like that. I might mess around with it later on today just to incorporate that 33 because that number is going to stick with me for the rest of my life for sure.
I mean, I obviously understand the 22 and the importance of it. I would tell you this from an outsider. The way that you explain the 33 to me, if I didn't know that, if I didn't know you, and I didn't know your story, the way you captivated me in that 33 would make me want to follow the 33. Like if I wanted to go buy a jersey, I'm probably going to get the Cole Russo 33 before the 22.
Yeah.
Only because it kind of the as I know the Russo family, it's very tight knit. That kind of encompasses the Russo family. Like you had specific reasons on picking that number, and it for the lamer for anybody not knowing the Russos, it makes a whole lot of sense. It makes
Yeah.
a whole lot of sense.
Yeah.
So it feels right to me. And
I
then
like
the way you went out, if you're gonna end your career, if you never play baseball again, when they talk about Cole Russo, they're gonna talk about the grand slam you hit in the national championship game, and
that's right.
that's in 33.
That's right. That's right.
All right, this has been fantastic, man.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate your time. I appreciate you letting me come on here and, talk baseball and talk sports with you. I appreciate it.
Go Spartans.
Yes, sir. Go Spartans.